welcome to a stormy 1 a.m. recording, which you'll see on a Monday. A new series called The Aftermath, which I've been doing this season. Obviously, West Ham 1, Manchester City 3. Usually you see The Aftermath on a Tuesday and a West Ham fans Premier League roundup on a Monday, but given that there's a Monday night football, you'll be getting the opposite. Obviously, we lost 3-1. And before we get into the full aftermath, if you guys want to like the video, please like the video and please subscribe. We are on the road to 200 subscribers. So please, before the end of the year, please subscribe. But listen, we lined up with a diamond formation, despite what Google says with a 4-2-3-1. It was a 4-2-3-1 off the ball, and it changed throughout the game, and we'll go through that, obviously. But we lined up Areola in goal, Vladimir Sufal, Kurt Zuma, again, and Emerson in the back four in the midfield with Souček, Alvarez, Ward-Prowse and Paquetá, with Bowen and Antonio as split strikers. With Bowen obviously going to right midfield and off the ball kind of thing, and Paquetá going to left midfield on off the ball, and Alvarez just in front of the back four as he's usually been playing. Man City played a 4-2-3-1. With Foden tucked in and Kyle Walker hugging the touchline, Edison in goal, Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Gavardia, Rodri, Silva, Foden, Alvarez, Doku and Haaland. And they were quite fluid throughout the game as well. They made all 5 subs. We made 4 subs in the end. Listen, it was, going back to reflect, we didn't play that badly. Manchester City are a class above, of course, but I'd say I never take draws against any team. And so I'm obviously still going to be angry about a loss. And I'm just angry with a few things. I'm angry with the defending of the goals. And it's very important to point out why I should be angry with the defending of the goals, because Naya Figuered is not good enough to play for West Ham United. And I'm sorry, he's not good enough in general, and it was a bit of a PR move, saying he was linked to Man City and Liverpool, and they're monitoring his situation when our next 2 games were Man City and Liverpool. And that report was done last week. I don't know how reliable the journalist was, but if they want him, I don't have a driving licence, but I will drive him there if he really wants to leave. As much as he seems like a nice guy, this is not about him being a nice guy. This is about him as a footballer. And as much as he pinged some good passes and a great goal line clearance in the first half, he wasn't good enough throughout, and especially for the goal. It's probably his best game of the season. And I say it a lot. You can't miss that header. Was it for the Bernardo Silva goal? You can't miss that header. You can't miss that header. Like, the ball was so fucking slow. You're 6'2", 6'3". You can't be missing that. And as I said, like, 2 people that didn't deserve to be on the losing side were the 2 French boys at the back, Areola and Kurt Zuma. Let's talk about Kurt Zuma. Probably the best defender on the day again for West Ham, not overall. For West Ham. And as I said in my match reaction, is great when everyone else is playing around you that's really, really bad in your line, in your back four. And you're performing really well. And listen, Zuma performs really well in general quite a lot. Sorry for the chair, it's squeaking a lot. Try and sit still. But yeah, playing really well when all of your teammates in the same line are playing really badly, it's even more impressive, and he deserves the captaincy. I know there's going to be the whole off-the-pitch stuff about him kicking a cat and stuff, but he's the captain. He deserves to be the captain, and my main doubt with him being the captain probably would be his injury proneness, and thank God that he won't play Thursday. Probably not. He shouldn't play Thursday, because we can't play him twice a week until we get to the knockout stages of the Europa League. It would just play against Liverpool. And as long It's not good. It's not going to happen. But I'm praying that he stays fit because he makes our defense. Him and Ogbonna are a better partnership, but I don't expect Ogbonna to play against Haaland again. Ogbonna only really comes in when he needs to, and I've been really impressed with Kurt Zuma again, and I was so happy when we signed him, and he's just proved me right. Every time he proves me right, he barely puts a foot wrong. It's only like I had a handful of bad games for us in general. So as usual, I'm very happy. I thought he commanded well. I think he's very vocal in defence. He's a great organiser. He's got great experience, and he's still young for a centre back. So well done on his performance. Um, and I wouldn't really fault him for any of the 3 goals, as he was left exposed quite a lot, and he wasn't helped by a certain someone on to his right hand side, and we'll get onto that in a minute. But in goal, Alphonse Areola, there was a triple around I think it was like a triple save that he made, where it just kept bouncing off in the first half from a corner. How the fuck did we not concede in that? I will never ever understand. The guy must hate playing against Erling Haaland. Fucking hell, because he's played both of the Man City games last year, I'm pretty sure, and he obviously was at fault by conceding a penalty last year. And he played really well again. Obviously, a certain West Ham account that thinks he knows everything online that is also faceless, of course, on Twitter, goes on to say that he doesn't know what Areola is good at. That sums up Twitter for you. I think Areola's just proved why he should be number one. And I'm not saying Fabianski would have made those saves, because Fabianski's great, a great keeper, but Areola makes quicker decisions when he's doing goal kicks and stuff as well, and that's also very important. And against Brighton, especially, those two were standout performances against Brighton and against Man City as well. And overall, he's done quite well. And listen, hopefully we can keep up. Fabianski will probably be in the Europa League games, and rightly so. It's good that Moyes has finally changed it up. And I think Areola didn't really have to do much in the Fiorentina final, but I think he still earned his place throughout the Conference League campaign. There was rumours of him being unhappy in January because he probably thought he was going to be number one again. Rumours of him going on loan to Lens and stuff like that. That was never going to happen. But listen, hopefully he's happy. And I remember when he permanently signed for us, his wife posted on her Instagram story that finally they've settled into a new home. They settled into London, obviously in London with Fulham and in London with West Ham on an initial loan spell. So I'm very happy that he's here. Probably going to go down as one of our better signings in recent years, especially along with Fabianski. Both of the goalkeepers, that it's a good section of goalkeepers to have when you have Areola's first and Fabianski a second, and it was a good section of goalkeepers to have anyway. And I think it's been our best since the 15-16 season, where we had Randolph and Adrian both playing really well. And before that, I guess UC Yaskalainen coming into the end of his career and Adrian coming in. Those are the only times I've seen us have 2 good goalkeepers. I didn't really like Joe Hart at West Ham. I didn't think we should bomb out Adrian like that. I just thought we should get a second keeper for Adrian. But then again, Adrian wasn't perfect either. And also, I liked Darren Randolph when he was at West Ham. I thought he got too much criticism, in my opinion. Let's talk about the fullbacks. I thought Vladimir Sufa was fucking shit in the second half, but I thought he did some good things in the first half. I thought his experience prevailed in the first half. I just think going forward, sometimes I know he did the beautiful cross for the goal, and it was a great run as well. But you're not gonna get that much space. I think you're not gonna get that much space in every game. You're gonna get that much space against Man City and Liverpool because of how open they play, and maybe against teams like Arsenal with Zinchenko playing left back for them and stuff like that. But you're not going to get that much space all the time. And I just don't think he gives always an outlet going forward. I think because his only instructions really is to get the ball in the air all the time, and he's not really comfortable on the ball anyway. His crossing's gone downhill ever since the injury, to be honest, and he crossed it really well for the goal, but he had time and space to cross the ball in, and don't get me wrong, still a beautiful goal for James Ward-Prowse to header it in, who we will also come on to later. The second half was very disappointing. Again, you got to be switched on all the time, and when someone's running at you with pace like that, the worst thing to do is show them on their strong foot, and that's exactly what he did. And it's unfortunate that he showed him on his strong foot, showed Doku on his strong foot, because he's fast and he absolutely cooked us in pre-season, and he's just cooked us again. And it was a good battle, don't get me wrong, but he came second best so far in that battle, and he's not the same guy that was pocketing Grealish at Villa Park. That the same guy that was doing well against all these left wingers, the Manes, the not even Mane to be fair, like the Rashfords and people like that. Then again, it's not hard to pocket Rashford really. Left back Emerson. I was really angry at him for that last goal. I think it was the Haaland goal where the fuck is he? He did this before. I said this in my match reaction as well. I did this before against Ghent. I don't remember which one we faced last year, whether it was Ghent or Genk. I don't care. He doesn't run back. You're a left back. You're not a wing back. Run back. If a team loses the ball, or you lose the ball, run the fuck back. You're leaving gaps. Run back. Don't just stroll around. You are not a winger. Run back. I think Emerson can give you a good defensive performance, especially in Europe, because he has the experience and he performed amazingly in the Conference League final. Was probably our best player, along with Bowen. Probably our two best players on that night. But he could also give you a shitter, like Palace away last season, and even against Chelsea this season. The Sterling got the best out of him. I mean, got the better of him quite a bit, and he needs. He needs to improve on defending. He's about 30. He's not going to improve anytime soon. He is what he is, but he will give you an outlet going forward, unlike a certain Aaron Cresswell, because Aaron Cresswell's on his last legs. He can drive with the ball. I think him and Paquetá link up well, but it's just because we're playing with a diamond formation, we want a triangle, a left winger that can also help facilitate them both, and we can actually get the ball moving a bit quicker, because that would be nice, wouldn't it? In a tip of the midfield, or like the deepest of the midfield, it's Edson Alvarez. It all fell apart when he came off, and Manchester City would have won anyway. But it all mainly fell apart when he came off. And he's an organiser, he's vocal, he's telling the team to get up the pitch, and it helps when he's a leader. He's got a very good mentality, very composed on the ball, very good tackler, good feet. If he can continue to do that throughout the season, then we should hope for a great second season. I will always give someone their first season that hasn't played in the Premier League before, or has only played in the Premier League for 1 year, in terms of footballers that come to West Ham United and in the Premier League in general, before I truly judge them. And I won't do the whole Souček thing where your first full season I overgas you and then I get disappointed the next season. I'm not going to do that either. But Alvarez, it all fell apart when he came off, and I'm just so worried that he might be injured, and I really hope that he's not injured. And please don't be injured, like, because once he gets to play week in week out in the Premier League, he'll be fine. But the problem is there's too many international breaks that are gonna fuck this up. Him going to Mexico and stuff, and yeah, that's gonna really fuck it up. But that's what's painful for me. I hate international breaks, and it just fucks up all kind of momentum for me. We don't have any defensive midfield depth. I don't know what the club were thinking, what the manager was thinking going into the season with no midfield depth. I know we've got Alvarez and Ward-Prowse, but we needed three. That was with Souček out. None of those things happened, and we're stuck here with the options that we have. And speaking of Souček, Moyes is going to have to let go of this whole Souček thing. He's gonna do this thing where he's just gonna keep taking him off instead of just not fucking playing him. Stop playing him. Simple. Stop playing him. Good servant. Blah blah blah. Got us into this European stuff in the first place. I'll always appreciate him for that, and he seems like comes off as a very nice guy. But again, as I said, it's not about you being a nice guy. It's about you on the football pitch. Please just stop playing him because it's gonna hinder us. When everyone's fully fit, you play Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, Paquetá midfield, please. And maybe Kudus off the left, which that would be my thing. Kudus, Antonio, Bowen as the front three, and I would require you to stop playing Thomas Souček for the love of God. The guy can't pass the ball, he can't drive with the ball, he can tackle a bit. He's not comfortable with the ball. Even with his tackling, we saw against Chelsea that he literally conceded the penalty for it. Dives in a bit too rash sometimes. He's a very good tackler, though. He's a very good blocking at the ball. He doesn't win his duels anymore, though. And you're tall enough to win your duels in the air, and he's getting mounted sometimes. And that didn't happen against City, but I'm just talking in general with Thomas Souček. In the game, he didn't do anything good on the ball, which as a midfielder you have to be somewhat competent on the ball, in my opinion. But let's get to the other two midfielders. Ward-Prowse was the most advanced of the diamond. I don't really like him in a 10 position, but he did get the goal. I would like him on the right side of the three in midfield because you might be able to even get him in positions where he can also put balls into the box, and he's not just a set piece motion. It's a shock. I've been watching this guy for fucking years at Southampton. People calling him a set piece merchant. You're a fucking idiot. I'm not surprised that he's just technically sound and that he just gets on with the game. It doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. I think he's was always going to settle in quite quick, and it doesn't surprise me that he's scored two. Well, he surprised me with the goals and assists instantly, but it hasn't surprised me with the performances overall during 90 minutes. Probably one of the signings of the season so far, along with like Maddison and stuff like that, and those kind of signings. And I'm trying to think who else. Maybe Doku. Yeah, Ward-Prowse. I'm so glad we got him. I was very excited. I was very, very excited when we got him, and I don't mind him not being picked for England because that means he gets to stay fully fit with us. I know he picked up a knock, but there was nothing to be worried about in the end, was there? And he played well again, can put in a tackle, and if Alvarez is injured, just play a pivot of him and Paquetá, because we played a pivot of Souček and Paquetá against Bournemouth. So just please, just anything but Souček at this point. And Ward-Prowse late arrivals into the box, good deliveries in the box. I didn't know you could do the whole Lampard thing, late arrivals into the box and stuff like that. Then again, he's done a couple of them goals, so maybe I should have known that. But very good awareness. Antonio helped him drawing the defenders out for him to score. So well done to him for that. And onwards and upwards. This Premier League experience is probably something we've been missing. And again, as I've always said, every time I talk about Ward-Prowse, that was the Moyes target that I wanted. Not the McTominays and the Maguires. I wanted Ward-Prowse. I wanted Ward-Prowse badly. But yeah. Last of the midfielders, Lucas Paquetá. The guy was different class, man. You can see why City wanted him, and you can see why I love him so much. Technically sound player, people need to give people a chance to settle into the Premier League after a season, because this is what you would get. He hates passing backwards. He takes too long on the ball. You're going to get that with him. You're going to get heart attack moments with him. You're going to give away the ball. Unfortunately, that's what's going to come with him, because if you tell him to get certain things out of his game, his whole game might just change, because he's one of them kind of players. And it's a shame that he will have some of those faults, but I think it's kind of worth it with the quality that will give you with not just the final ball, but with the link-up play, the passing in tight spaces, the getting through the press. We don't have many players that could get through the press before last summer transfer window, not the one just gone. We didn't have many players that could do that. Only really Rice and Lanzini really could play through the press in midfield. But Paquetá could do that, and it's the proper creativity we've been missing since Lanzini's injury. And the main thing that when you have players like Paquetá and Kudus, two different type of players, you need runners beyond you in this attack, man. You need Antonio and Bowen need to offer more in runs. I don't think they played badly, but they could have done a lot more in terms of just offering more as outlets, as runners. And I didn't think Bowen played badly when he was played as a split striker, but when it came to putting Mohamed Kudus on, Bowen went straight up front. I would have played Kudus false nine because he gets into the pockets. That means he'll draw defenders in, and then you get runners beyond. And yes, one of those runners would have been Said Benrahma, but it could have worked. Mohamed Kudus, when he came on, he just tried to entertain. That's all he tried to do. Wasn't really much to say about Tilo Kehrer when he came on. Benrahma wasn't good enough, even though he is better off the bench, and he's going to have to prove more in Europa League. I think those should be his minutes. I do think he should be dropped to the bench, but not for Souček. I don't like Fornals at left wing, but I'd rather play him in the team than Souček, and I'd rather play Kudus. But listen, we'll see what happens. But yeah, Bowen and Antonio are split strikers, as I just said. They didn't offer enough. But I think they didn't play badly either. But I think Antonio, when he gets into a physical battle, I think that's what he likes. I think he gave Akanji a couple of things to think about. But I think overall Bowen was very quiet. I think he could have offered a bit more. But I think those performances will come, especially from them too. You can rely on them. I think people are being a bit too reactionary over some of their takes on YouTube, but it is what it is. I've seen a video titled that. I'm thinking a bit reactionary, but whatever. But yeah, that's just my take on the whole game now. That's the aftermath done. Make sure to leave a like on a video and subscribe if you're new. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me, and email for any inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.